Welcome to sports, everybody. I'm Jonathan Benson. Our men's national volleyball team finishing up the first round of FIVB World Qualifiers in Curacao over the weekend with an unblemished record. They went 3-0 in round-robin play and lost just one set before being the host for the gold medal last night in 4 sets. At the closing ceremonies, Team Bahamas also walking away with 3 individual awards. Prince Wilson was named the MVP, Byron Ferguson the best blocker, while Ronaldo Knowles, he won the best spiker. Sports Minister Dr. Daniel Johnson among the fans singing the team's praises.
When I came in as Minister of Sports, I told them that the gold rush continues. And so last night, all I said first, I say, boy, we hit gold again. You know, the volleyball history we have, starting from Tom the Bird Grant, who passed away, of course, who was buried last Saturday, actually, is a great history, and that one goes on. So that's the next chapter in volleyball. You know, Tom Grant would have been so proud of where volleyball is going now, and what you're seeing across the country is a renaissance in all of these areas. As we have the changing of the guard, the new guard arrives.
Now, as a result of finishing in the top 3 in Curacao, the Bahamas has moved on to the second round of World Qualifiers next year. They will play out of Group I alongside French St. Martin, Barbados, and Nicaragua. Well, a viewing for sports icon Tommy Robinson taking place this morning at the National Stadium named in his honor. Our Julian Gibson was on hand, and he tells us about some of the notable names who showed up to pay their respects.
Track and field great Thomas Robinson assisted in the development of many of our Bahamian athletes, and because of this, his memory will always live on.
He's been there. I mean, some of the simple things as far as simple as a student visa. I know my mother didn't have like the bank account to show to the U.S. Embassy, and Mr. Robinson provided that for me. So it's just numerous of things that he's done and been there, supportive and encouraging me and everybody else, and it's just really sad.
Mr. Robinson has done so much for so many of us. A lot of people really don't know, really exactly what he did, because he was not the one that, go out and said, I did this and I did that, but his heart was so big. I mean, he got me in college.
Now for Mike Foster, he remembers Tommy Robinson's work ethic in the helping to bring about a state-of-the-art national stadium to the Bahamas.
Tommy was very pragmatic, very pragmatic. 2 things I remember him saying is, he said, he always mentioned that he was sick. He always said, Foster, I'm sick, I'm tired, but I got to keep going on, and I got to make sure this happens. He said, this has been like 40 years of badgering governments of all sorts to build a proper place for our athletes to run.
Now, Tommy Robinson was a household name worldwide. Even the Chinese in the construction of the stadium fell in love with Tommy Robinson.
For me, Mr. Robinson is more like a mentor and a father to me. I've learned a lot from him, and he's one of the most responsible people I have ever seen in the Bahamas. And actually, he has given us a lot of help in the process of building this stadium.
Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I am Julian Gibson.
All right, thanks a lot, Julian. Now, also making their way out to the National Stadium this morning to pay their respects to the late Tommy Robinson were Freedom Farm Baseball President Greg Burrows and Sports Minister Dr. Daniel Johnson.
Tom used to ask me how things going, how things developing with the program, the Freedom Farm program, and the kids, how many kids involved. What I'm saying is his interest in sports and the development of young people sort of stretched straight across the sporting divide. It goes from track and field, where he was made famous, to whatever sporting activities that exist in the country. I at first never understood why he continued to call me. So when he was named ambassador for sports, I thought it was so fitting that somebody like Tommy would be the ambassador, and to me, he will always be the ambassador for sports.
Tommy's life speaks to the expansion of greatness in the Bahamas, and so he, as a pioneer and as a patriot, he paved the way. But the way his spirit is, I'm sure he's looking forward to the next chapter. So we close the chapter on his initial thrust, but the great things he's left behind, the spirit he leaves behind, there's much more to come.
Well, fellow sports icon Tom the Bird Grant laid to rest over the weekend. Family and friends made their way to St. Joseph's Catholic Church on Boyd Road to pay their final respects. Among those sharing their memories of the Bird was all-around sportsman Eddie Ford and basketball official Brendan Swaby.
When I first came to play Little League baseball and cricket, I met Thomas Bird. He was a Father Martian Peter's boy. He was track and field athletes which he participated for St. Bernard's. I remember him also as a basketball player. I remember the night on the Prairie Grounds where he got the name, the Bird, when he did a layup and the camera caught him. And he had such a unique style up in the air. They say, it's a bird, it's a plane. And they say, no, it's Thomas Grant.
Tom is a very ambitious and forthright, hard-working gentleman who always had the youth at the core of his being. I remember him from running the private school league, and I was one of his referees, and he always insisted on being on time, do your best, discipline, no foolishness from the kids, and he was that type of person.
Well, the Bahamian flag flying high over the weekend at the National Tennis Center. First up on Friday, Kevin Major and Philip Major became the first Bahamian duo to win the boys' 18s doubles title on home soil at the Goombay Splash Bowl. Kevin and Philip, they had some ups and downs in their first couple of matches, but by the time the final rolled around, they were clicking on all cylinders, winning in straight sets over the second-seeded team of Juan Alanis and Gerardo Cardenas, 6-3 and 3.
It gave us more confidence to let us know that we could pull off any doubles match in the tournament when we wanted to, you know. So it also helped us grow along with the chemistry as we went on in the tournament.
History also made in the boys' 18 singles final. For the first time on home soil, a Bahamian advanced that far in the tournament. In fact, the finals matchup was an all-Bahamian clash between 8th-seeded Kevin Major and unseeded Shaquille Taylor. Major got off to a fast start and he took the first set 6-2. Major then broke to start the second set, but Taylor eventually got that game back to pull even. Major broke again and would serve for the set at 5-4, but Taylor played a great game and was able to tie the score at 5-all. From there, Major held, and then he was able to break Taylor one final time to take the match. Kevin Major, your 2012 Goombay Splash champion, he wins 6-2, 7-5.
Shaq played really well today. I honestly didn't expect him to play that well, and I just stayed focused in the first set, and I kept my level at kept my level high in the first set. And in the second set, the win became a factor because I wasn't able to hit through the court as easily as I did in the first, so I had to make an adjustment, and that's why I had to work the points. The points are longer, and the match became more tough.
It's been a rivalry since we were young kids, you know. And KJ would always go back and forth. I would win, he would win. But today with the breaks, I mean, in the first set, you know, I think I went for a little too much. He just stayed steady, like the better player did. And in the second set, you know, I caught myself. I said, you know, got to keep more balls in the court, you know, wear him down a little bit. But unfortunately, my plan didn't work, and he went out there with a bigger game today. And, you know, I applaud him for that.
For tournament director Bradley Bain and president of the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association, Deron Donaldson, having an all-Bahamian final was a dream come true.
I am absolutely delighted the way things turned out. I mean, it couldn't have been for a better scenario. We went head-to-head with the Eddie Herr. All the better players went there. It was a weaker field, and so it gives our top players a great opportunity to do well. And as you can see, we had an all-Bahamian final, and of course, we won the doubles. So the boys did exceptionally well, and next year we intend to do the same thing. We go head-to-head with Eddie Herr, because the more our kids can get points, then it allows them to play at a much higher level tournaments. And so playing at home is supposed to create that opportunity for them, not make it difficult like in the past when all the top players were here and our players only make round one or second round. But now we're champions, and next year we're looking forward to somebody replacing KJ. And I've got somebody in mind already who's going to step to the plate and be the second Bahamian to win an ITF tournament at home.
It's great for them. They get a lot of points, so it'll help them get into at least qualifying rounds of other tournaments around the world, and it's a great thing for us.
Well, the BAISS private school basketball season in full swing. Last week in junior boys play, the Aquinas Aces paying a visit to Temple Christian to take on the Suns. And from the opening whistle, it would be the Suns burning up the court and defending their home turf. The Suns win this one by a final of 42-29.
Well, we didn't really execute with how we supposed to. You know, we run a nice tempo game. We run a system. And once we stick in our system, I know we could go far.
In the first half, we played scary, but then we execute the basketball. We do what our coach tells us to do, and we score the basketball.
At first, we was playing kind of scary, but we came back, played hard, good defense, and we scored. We won the game.
We got to play. They wrestled us. They rebounded us. They hit more shots than us.
We just wasn't running up and down the court enough. We wasn't passing enough. We got to do better next time.
I think we have to toughen up on defense. My guys play timid. For some reason, I don't know, but once we toughen up on defense, I think we do well.
And that will do it for sports. But stay tuned, your weather forecast still to come.